week. And so I am doing this one solo today. She's helping a friend out in Arizona, if you've been watching her lives. And it's really nice that she could do that with her friend. And so I'm glad that she's out there helping her. And apparently everything went good. So she'll be back next week. Although I just realized next week is Christmas Eve. Like, how is that possible? So we're going to skip next week and take the Christmas Eve Saturday off. But we'll be back for New Year's Eve, though. So this will be the second for the last one for the year. And this is something that Pat and I talked about this week, and then she was going to try to join in because the technology that we use would allow it, but she does have a lot of stuff going on. And I actually texted her this morning and said, hey, do you want to join? And she's like, no, I'm just too crazy here. So it's all good. And so I'm happy that she's able to help her friend out again. But today is going to be a good one. It's going to be short. I will say that. Because I want to talk about intermittent fasting for Masters Runner. And I want to tell a little bit of story about that, what's worked for Patty and I. This has worked for us, and it's kind of our journey, and it's really helped us kind of catapult moving forward when we started our kind of weight loss and running journey combined. And we used intermittent fasting to start. So it was really kind of a catalyst for us. And the little story behind this is when we started, first of all, when I started doing this first, and I had been following some people, and I had a coach, and he kind of encouraged me to do this. And I thought, there is no way possible that I can, eat in a limited window and just function, let alone run. And lo and behold, not only did we do this, did I do it, then Patty joined in as well and realized it's really not that hard, because like a lot of things that we go through, especially as runners, it's right here, right? It is all right here. And for those of you who run a marathon, even a half marathon, if you think it's not possible, of course it is. There's thousands of people that do that. So anyway, today, keep this short. Talk about intermittent fasting for Masters runners, because that's what we all are. We're not getting any younger. As we say each week, this is not medical advice. Please take it. This is the research that we do, that we share with you guys. It's worked for us. We're passionate about this, and we encourage people to try it and test this. Again, obviously, you got to check with your doctor if you've never done this or if you're concerned. But if you step out of your comfort zone, you're going to take on new life experiences. And I would encourage you to at least talk with your doctor or consider doing this at a very small and test it out, because you're going to be surprised. So recapping last week real quick, we talked about the benefits of vitamin D. Obviously, this time of year, we're at a spot where the sun, we're just getting less sunlight, just the way the world is, right? And so you want to make sure that you, actually, no, it's not benefits of vitamin D. I take that back. It's 6 common training errors. I forgot to change that. Common training errors. That's right. The vitamin D was the week before. I got to change that. Anyway, it was last week was 6 common training errors. We talked about doing too much at once because we started coming out. We, just human nature. You get excited, you want to do some stuff, and it's going to lead to injury, which is what we're trying to avoid here, right? The whole point of this group is eating healthy. Eating is going to allow you to run. And as Masters runners get older, we want to make sure we're eating those right foods to fuel our body, which ties in perfectly to today. But again, last week, this will factor into your training as well. So you need to have some variety in there. Try to mix up your runs as best you can. Give yourself, your body, listen to your body, use common sense. Like all this stuff, guys, you got to use common sense. Have to use common sense. And of course, listen to your body. People don't get into the gray zone enough. And then the biggest thing that people see, and this is where Patty and I have been focusing on this whole calendar year, is prior to that, we were not strength training enough. We were doing it kind of here or there, and now we focused on it. We've noticed a major difference. So anyway, that was last week. You can go back and watch last week's replay if you just scroll down the page here. Or if you're watching on YouTube, same thing, just scroll down on our channel. You can see it for last week. Today, we're going to talk about intermittent fasting for Masters runners, and really, can you or should you do that? And that's a question up for you. And if you've ever thought about it, I would strongly encourage you to try it. Love this quote. That's why I slipped this in here today, because it's just so true. Energy is everything. And you think about this, you're eating food, hopefully healthy, nutritional, real food, to give your body energy so you can perform better, right? And this is true about life in general. If you think about this, energy is just everything. And when you do this as a tactic to help you run, It's going to let you think better. Your body's going to recover, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I just love this quote because it's just so true that energy truly is everything. It just comes down to that. So I wanted to put that in there today. So anyway, we talked about intermittent fasting for masters runners. Again, what is fasting? A lot of people know, but it's, first of all, it's not new. It's been around forever. If you think about the evolution of man, is that that's what they did. They literally could eat only when they hunted food or when they were able to explore and gather food. And so they had limited windows. They didn't have modern conveniences that we have today. And sadly, our society today has kind of morphed into, we're all busy, we're all just limited. And so people are eating, and they're eating more frequently. And that's leading to causing a whole slew of health issues. But again, this is not new, is the first thing. And for those of you that don't know, although I'm sure you guys know, this is just eating in a time restricted window is really what it boils down to. You're either eating you're either eating in an 8-hour window, which means you're fasting for 16 hours. Typically, when you go to the doctor, they always tell you to fast, right? Like don't eat after 8 o'clock. Why? Because they want to have at least 12 hours of your body not having any energy that it's processing. They want to get that out of your system so they can test your blood to give it the cleanest reading. So that's one of the examples as a 16-8. That would be something I would recommend people start with, or you can evolve into an 18-6 or even a 24. So when I first started, I thought this was going to be absolutely impossible to do. Absolutely impossible. I'm thinking there's no way my body's going to survive. Yeah, somebody challenged me that had been doing this, and they said, think about this. You've already done this, but not realized it. So, for example, you've been busy at work, you missed breakfast that day, you got to the office or whatever you do, but you just got busy. And so you didn't have time to eat until lunch. Well, basically, you did a 16-hour fast. I can guarantee all of us have done this, either a 16 or an 18-hour fast at some point in our lives. And guess what? You survived. That's the bottom line, is you survived, right? The key thing here is just trying to use this as a lifestyle change to give you some benefits that are going to come with it. So I'll talk about it in a minute, but that's really what it is just really eating in a time restricted window. And ideally, if you choose to practice this, you want to eat 3 hours before bedtime, because that's when you're going to improve your mitochondrial function. Your body, as we talk about all the time, repairs itself when you sleep. So if you're eating at least 3 hours before you go to bedtime, or before you go to sleep, your body's going to have that much more time, which is going to extend that window, right? That's what's hard, is people can't adjust to the time window. Because again, when we sleep, as we talk all the time, is that your body allows to recover. You're going to have cellular repair. And it typically begins with most people after 6 hours. So your body's going to take all the energy you gave it from the food, whatever you chose to eat. Hopefully it's healthy. But after 6 hours, your body starts to repair its cells, right? And that's how this works. And so if you eventually get to an 18-6 fasting state, your body's going to have 10 hours to repair. And that's why typically, but that's actually why when we all get a good night's sleep, we feel amazing the next day, because we slept soundly. And I think if you challenge yourself, you think back to when you had a really good night's sleep, you probably ate earlier that evening for whatever reason, or you ate healthy food. If you combine those two, you're typically going to give yourself a better chance for a good night's sleep. And you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to feel amazing, as we've all experienced before. So here's the benefits of it, right? This is what happened to me. Is I said initially, there was no way it was going to be possible. I'm like, there's just no way. But somebody challenged me. So I said, okay, I'm going to try. And I just pushed back breakfast. At first, I used to eat like 8, 9 o'clock, sometimes earlier if I went into work, whatever that was. But since I work from home now, I can control that much better. And I got to 9 o'clock, then I got to 10 o'clock, and I pushed it. And eventually I got to 12 o'clock. So I started out with kind of a 14-hour. Then I pushed it to 16 hours. Then I got to 18 hours. And once I got to 18 hours, I realized, wait a minute, this is really not that hard. That's when, when you first started doing this, it got really hard for me. But I pushed through and I got to 20. And I got into a rhythm where I was doing consistently for literally about a month, between an 18-hour fast and a 20-hour fast every day. And I was pounding the water, which I say all the time. If you drink lots of water, your body is not going to need as much energy at that point in time. Now, you're going to need to eat, right? But at the same time, your water is a tactic that will allow you to extend that window. And if you can drink some carbonated water, if you don't want to drink carbonated water, you can try soda, but please do diet soda or like Coke Zero or Pepsi. what do they call it? Pepsi One, I believe it is. It's the non-sugar stuff that you got to have. But if you drink something carbonated, it's going to allow your body to feel satiated. It's going to push that window just a little bit. So if you combine that with water, either water or water and carbonated water, it is going to allow you to get into that window. Because the benefits of this is it's going to promote insulin sensitivity, right? It's going to improve your blood sugar management. As we know, if you get too much sugar, it's going to lead to a lot of bad things, right? So when you're also time restricting eating, you change that lifestyle, the cravings that you have for sugar just go away. And I used to be horrible. I'd go to the grocery store, walk by the bakery section, and see these little tiny cakes. And Patty would say to us, pre-doing what we do now, hey, grab some later. Or she'd even say sometimes after dinner, go get some. We were addicted to it, right? That's the way the food is designed. It is designed to be addictive in today's world, which is really sad. And it's mostly based in sugar, as we've talked countless times before. But if you do a fasting regimen, it's going to improve your blood sugar management, which is going to reduce the sugar in your system because your body doesn't crave sugar. But once you eat it, it's going to start to crave it because it's designed to be addictive. The food companies spend millions and billions of dollars to scientifically engineer food to make it taste good. And that's what gets us all into trouble because you just keep eating. And then all of a sudden you're eating over a 12 to 14 hour period. If you just think about that, that's why you're consuming then too many calories because you're eating too much sugar in all likelihood. But the benefits of this is going to lower your triglyceride levels. It's going to increase human growth hormone production, which everything is based on. This type of lifestyle is based on your hormones, controlling your hormones, right? But it's going to increase your human growth production, which is what we all need. It's going to help you build muscle, obviously. And ironically, it's going to promote fat loss. Because if you think about it, again, earlier, that's why I put the Albert Einstein image in there and quote in there is food gives our body energy. And if your body doesn't have enough energy, it's going to start to go to your fat stores in your body. And we all have enough fat in our bodies to live. What your body really needs is water. But this is why you can do this TRE, the time restricted eating. It takes time to build up to it. But if you do this consistently, your body is actually going to build muscle and it's going to promote fat loss because your body needs to store energy, right? And then when your body does get the nutritional food, it's going to help turn that into energy. It's going to help turn it into muscle. So there are more details around that, but that's really the benefits of doing intermittent fasting. And there's some studies that suggest it's going to suppress inflammation and reduce oxidative damage, which we know are bad for our systems, right? Bad for our bodies is inflammation, oxidative stress is horrible for our bodies. And if we can control that, we're going to feel better, we're going to be healthier. And I would challenge you then, if you do this, then when you go back to your doctor again to get your blood levels drawn, as we talked about before, you're going to want to do that full panel to see how because blood is data, right? It's just data at that point. It's not going to lie. It's also going to aid in lower blood pressure. This is something that we all live with, especially now this time of year. This time of year is so stressful, right? You have the holidays, you have family, you've got holiday parties you're going to. There's just all this stress that comes into this, which is why we love to run because it relieves stress, right? But if you do a time restricted eating, it's going to actually help you lower your blood pressure. It's not the answer, but it's going to help lower that blood pressure. And these are all the benefits that Patty and I experienced once we did this. This is the shocking part to a lot of people. It actually improves your cognitive function. Most people think I'm not going to be able to function if I'm not going to eat because you get to that point where your body is still weaning off that sugar because you're so addicted to it, right? And so when you get off of it, ironically, you're going to think better. And that is something that most people struggle with as well. But again, I challenge you to try this because that is at least the benefit that I've shown. And if you just eventually got to that 16-hour fast in there, I think you'd be surprised. Yes, you're going to be hungry at that point in time, but you're also going to be surprised. And it's going to, most importantly, it's going to eliminate those sugar cravings. I don't have sugar cravings anymore. I really don't. Like I walk by this stuff now, I don't even look at it because the sugar is out of my system. And we're here in Austin helping Patty's sister and her husband out. And I was talking to her sister the other day about this. She said that she doesn't even crave some of those sweets that she used to always go to. Why? Because the sugar is getting out of her system, right? So it's eliminating those cravings. And she also fasts, which is one of the benefits that you come from this now. So again, is this for me? Obviously, I don't have that answer. You got to consult with your physician. Use common sense, as Patty and I say all the time. Just listen to your body, right? If you want to try this, you're going to have to slowly progress. You can't do it all at once. It's impossible for most people. It was impossible for me. It took me a while to gradually build up to that. And once I did, I realized, again, my mindset changed. Like, wait a minute, this is possible. It's not that hard, and I can do this. And as a byproduct, I started losing a ton of weight, which Patty got really mad at me because she was like, how are you losing all this weight? And you're still, back then, we're not eating as healthy as we do today. We're still eating too much bread and too many carbs. But I started losing weight because my body just started to work naturally. I eliminated all the sugar cravings, right? But you have to slowly progress into that. And then what I would encourage you to do is if you try this, then go for a 2 or 3 mile run in a fasted state. You will be shocked that A, you can do it, and B, you're going to feel incredible when you're done. Now, when you're done, then you're really going to have the right to have a good meal at that point in time, whatever that is. Try to eat as healthy as possible, but I would challenge you to try this. Again, consult with your physician if it's something you're concerned about, but just listen to your body. Use common sense. If at the end where you're like, okay, I need some food, whatever it is, then eat something, right? Eat something healthy, but only you can answer that. I can't answer that. Only you can answer that. But we're just trying to give you guys some information as we do each week that we have done and works for us. Again, I lost 65 pounds and I've been now my high school weight for about 4 years now. And we typically will practice now the intermittent fasting. So today's a good example. I ate last night dinner early. I was done by 6 o'clock. So I am now past 18 hours, which is good because now I am very hungry. So I'm going to go eat here as soon as I'm done with this. But I actually feel good. My cognitive function is very alert right now. Could I push farther? Absolutely, I could. I know for a fact I could. I'm going to choose not to because I've at least gone 18 plus hours. But if I drank a bunch of water right now and potted more water, I know for a fact I could go farther and I could make it to 20 without even a blink. So as we've said the last few weeks, if you guys want some help and saying, I just need some help getting started. I just need to I really want to try this out. Of course, consult with your physician, but then if you want somebody to give you some guidelines and we can actually customize kind of some plans around foods you like, we'll customize all your macros for you guys. If you want to take us up on that offer, you can go to runtips.us/call. That is runtips.us/call. It's on the bottom of the screen there. I'm going to put it over here as well. runtips.us/call. If you want, you can go there and we can set up time to chat with you and Patty. Again, we're here to help you guys, here to serve you guys. You'd be surprised. It's a lot easier than you think. And again, a lot of people just don't know what to eat. They're confused with this stuff, but we'll customize a plan for you and get you the macros that you need. We'll customize all your macros around foods you like. Now, you are going to have to make some changes. There's no way, shape around that. You're going to have to make some small changes, but it's not as drastic as you think. So many people think it's so drastic. They got to give up so much stuff. Like bread, for example. I know in the past we've talked about making the chaffles, but shockingly, there's not bread because keto and low carb is so prevalent. There's such a demand for it that in many, many grocery stores, they have very, very low carb bread, which you can now make the sandwiches. And if you want to eat certain other types of things, we eat those now all the time because it actually doesn't taste so bad. It tastes pretty darn good. And knowing the fact that it's low in carbs makes us feel good because why? We're going to keep our carbs low. We're going to decrease our cravings for sugar, which is going to allow us to do some intermittent fasting, which keeps us healthy and allows us to keep running, which is what we want. So again, go to runtips.us/call. If you guys want some help getting started, that's where you can go. Anyway, look at that. I did it in under 20 minutes here today. So I'm going to go get some food because I'm hungry right now, as I shared. And I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Again, we're going to take next week off. Hopefully if you're traveling, please travel safely and spend a great time with you and your family. Please keep posting pictures in the group. Sue, you posted that picture this morning from beautiful Maine. This time of year, it's absolutely gorgeous. That was literally a postcard picture. You should try to market that as a picture. Do that online somehow. But in any event, you guys have a great Christmas weekend. Please keep running. Please keep being strong through the holidays. Try some intermittent fasting out. You'll get through the holidays with no issues, and you'll come out the other side being really strong. And as I said a couple weeks back, when I did this solo when Patty was in Spain, or when she was in Portugal, actually, we're going to come out with some new stuff the first year. And if you guys want to take us up on that, we have a whole new series coming out with some stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, I'll let you guys get your Saturdays. Have a great weekend and a great Christmas. And we will talk again in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time, we'll be back.